The concept of left and right are largely an illusion. There are psychological phenotypes. In an oversimplification, we can say there are two main phenotypes. One thinks in arbitrary concepts. You can think of them as the cultural contributors. The other thinks in pragmatic terms. You can think of them as engineers, operating like a colony of ants. Each has their place in the greater function of the species. However, both are capable of being warriors if needed. The radicalization has been layered on top of these phenotypes, along with self-defining labels, wherein the individual falls into the psychological condition of groupthink, a desire to belong and be accepted. However, these desires are more narcissistic than most would ever dare to admit. Once an individual feels that they are part of an arbitrary classification, they will willingly adopt viewpoints, adjust their values, and change their behavior. In short, they willingly and subconsciously sell their soul to the collective. This information has been well established and refined by those in power over centuries. And over the past century, this has been documented, studied, and turned into a mathematical equation. You see related equations at work in marketing, social media doom scrolling, video games, and in nearly every sphere of your daily life. Is it really so absurd to think that manipulation has touched your precious politics? The things that you fight so desperately over, is it so absurd as to think that these aren't your own beliefs? There are topics that are both so contradictory and hypocritical to themselves that to any outside observer, the fight over them looks like mass psychosis. Abortion started as a religious debate. However, religion and state are constitutionally separated. Women are dying from natural miscarriages. Gun control started in fear of insurrection. However, the right to bear arms was designed so that the people could resist tyranny. The debate turned into one of combating mass murders. Most are prevented by armed citizens. The most important asset to any economy is the population. Without laborers or consumers, nothing moves. Yet, there is a crisis in workers for low-paying jobs, while simultaneously, mass deportations of legal residents are taking place. Each of these contradicting topics have more than sufficient evidence. If you remove the emotional bias and the lens that has been programmed into you, you will find it. What's even more disturbing is the intentional design of social media algorithms, purposefully feeding you an echo chamber that further fuels the belief system fed to you, all of which is hidden under the guise of engagement and profit. In addition, anyone who doesn't play the fictional game of left and right is subsequently silenced. When is the last time you heard from Venezuelans in Venezuela, Mali, South Sudan, Nepal, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Myanmar? Many of them know English. The game is fixed. The game is for your mind. The more violently divided you are, the less likely you are to cooperate. The more afraid you are of your neighbor, the less likely you are to help one another. The concept of family has been eroded. Yet, a strong family is the foundation of civilization. Without families, there can be no community. Without community, states and nations wither and die to barbarism. You can hardly communicate with anyone without either of you inserting the fictitious concept of parties or sides. Such division can only be guided by external hands, systemic or foreign. As a result of failing to prevent this monsoon, society has collapsed. There were many warnings, and yet they were all dismissed. Democracy demands transparency, yet it is now more obvious than ever that transparency does not exist. Democracy demands reasonably close proximity of the government so that it can be held accountable by the people. Yet, it is farther away than ever before. Freedom of speech is an illusion when freedom of thought has been stripped. Freedom of choice is an illusion when elections are bought by lobbyists and both foreign and domestic donors. There is no left or right. There is only a flavor of propaganda and ideology one is willing to blindly believe. You are so overwhelmingly and consistently berated by both contradicting information and bold but empty statements that you're willing to let someone else do your thinking for you and regurgitate the information with their own foreign, systemic, or individual bias. And yet, you allow yourself to believe that they're your own conclusions, without question. My, what a good puppet you are. Your AI tools are censored, curated, and often give information that is pre-biased from the articles and information it has scanned. They are often specifically designed to feed you narratives based on its assessment of your beliefs and psychological profile. This is a consequence of the system being designed to be amicable as opposed to factual, regardless of this design flaw being intentional or not. The result is equally malevolent for society. None of this is about politicians. Due to the decline of capitalism into feudalism with technocratic leanings, politicians are nothing more than useful idiots. Tools to achieve an end. To serve humanity, all you have to do is refuse to blindly follow foreign and systemic propaganda. The concept of family will follow with time. From there, communities can reform, and where there is community, there is solidarity. There is no left or right. There are only people. People who willingly drink from different fountains of manipulation.